What if I told you that one of the most powerful forces in modern entertainment didn't wield a sword, didn't write manifestos, and didn't command armies, but instead moved lips with his hand, wore a modest beard, and taught the world to dream? Jim Henson didn't just change children's television. He quietly reshaped storytelling itself, and through it all, that calm, unassuming beard sat atop one of the greatest imaginations to ever grace the soundstage. This is the Beardtory of Jim Henson. Welcome back, everybody, to Beardtory. Super excited for this one. Mixing things up a little bit. Jim Henson, a name that if you are above a certain age and definitely as old as me, you will recognize this name immediately. And maybe some of the younger, maybe some of the newer viewers, you're about to get some education, some beard education, and the history. Well, that's why it's beard history, Beardtory. Anyways, this one I'm super excited about and can't wait to get into it. So let's go ahead and, get into it. From Mississippi to Muppets, because we're about to give you the origin of a gentle giant named Jim Henson, who was born on September 24th, 1936, in Greenville, Mississippi, raised on a diet of Southern charm, imagination, and the golden age of radio. His family moved to Maryland during his childhood, and as TV emerged in the 50s, young Jim was instantly captivated. At just 18, while studying at the University of Maryland, go Terps he might say, he got his first shot on local television. With a few scraps of fabric and a whole lot of creativity, he created Sam and Friends, a 5-minute puppet show that would lay the groundwork for a legacy. It was here that Kermit first blinked into existence. Originally made from a discarded green coat and a couple of ping pong balls, Kermit was never meant to be a star. But the frog, the frog had other plans. Jim didn't always wear a beard in those early days. In fact, early photos show a clean-shaven, all-American kid. But as creativity grew, so did his facial hair. And when the beard came in, it stayed. Not flashy, not wild, just full, calm, and authentic, like the man himself. By the late 60s, Jim Henson had become much more than a local puppet guy. He was now a visionary, and that calm, professor-like beard of his became part of the mystique. In 1969, Sesame Street debuted, and with it, an explosion of education through entertainment. Jim's characters, Ernie, Bert, Cookie Monster, Grover, and of course Kermit. You might have heard a couple of them, and these are just to name a few. They weren't just teaching kids letters and numbers. They were modeling empathy, diversity, and critical thinking. While other adults were telling children what to do, Jim was inviting them into a world of wonder. He believed kids were smart. He believed they deserved stories that respected their intelligence. Then came The Muppet Show in 1976, a variety show that turned puppets into global celebrities. Gonzo, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, the Swedish Chef. Each character reflected a part of the human condition. The beard, now iconic, gave off a vibe of a laid-back wizard pulling the strings of a felt-based universe with a quiet, creative grace. Behind the scenes, Henson was a technological pioneer as well, experimenting with animatronics, special effects, and voice synchronization. He wasn't just making puppets move, he was breathing life into foam and fabric. And it's probably hard to think about in the world that we live in, where now AI is able to, take Yetis and Bigfoots and make it so they're vlogging around here, which is really cool. Imagine what Jim and that brain would have done with that kind of technology. Ultimately, though, and unfortunately, Jim Henson passed away May 16th, 1990, at just 53 years old due to a sudden bacterial infection. The world was stunned. The man who gave us laughter, lessons, and felted friends was gone far too soon. But like any great storyteller, Jim left behind more than memories. He left a blueprint, his beard immortalized in portraits, statues, and behind-the-scene photos became shorthand for creativity and kindness. The Jim Henson Company continues to innovate, led by his children, especially Brian and Lisa. they've carried the torch through films, television, and puppet-based performance art. Whether it's The Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, or even newer projects like Fragile Rock. Back to the Rock. His spirit is embedded in every stitch, every set, every script. And let's be honest, when you see a bearded guy with a gentle smile holding a puppet, you know exactly who inspired him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now that time for the beard ranking for Jim Henson. And if you're new here, you're new to the beard rankings, we go ahead and we rank these on a couple of different categories. The same categories every time. We're going to rank it on fear factor. We're going to rank it on wisdom points, intimidation level, thickness and wildness, and historical impact. And we're going to give it a total, and you're going to see where he ranks up amongst the other ones that we have done so far here on Beardtory. So let's jump right into this. We're going to go with the fear factor. The only thing scary is how emotional his characters can, would, do, and should make you feel. So for me, not a very scary beard. Some people, though, they don't like puppets. So for me, this is going to be a 2.2 out of 10. Mainly because, well, there's a couple of people in this world that are scared of puppets and find them creepy. So his beard, not exactly striking fear into you, am I right? Next up, wisdom points. Beard of Sage taught the world through puppets. I mean, to be able to not only build the empire, but be able to take a concept that was early on, run with it, turn it into the empire that it is, the technology that he had to learn and fight through. Very intelligent beard. So for me, wisdom points, 8.7 out of 10. Next up, intimidation level. Let's be honest. Not the most intimidating beard in the world. I mean, Henson can make Oscar the Grouch seem huggable. This is a nice dude. Not intimidating. Probably our lowest intimidation level for good reasons, right? This is a 1.1 out of 10 for Jim Henson. Thickness and wildness wasn't overly wild by any means, but it did have some thickness. We've referred to it a couple of times. Professor beard, just a casual 60s, 70s style beard. It wasn't wizard-like. It was balanced. It was full. And kind of screamed, a dad that knows jazz, if that makes sense. So thick, dense beard, for sure. Wild, not so much. So it's kind of a middle-of-the-road rating for me. 6.4 out of 10 for thickness and wildness. Now let's jump to historical impact. I mean, Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, all of the other things that we've already mentioned. People know Jim Henson. Hopefully the younger generation still does. If not, from the 60s kids all the way to 90s and maybe early 2000 kids definitely knew Jim Henson. Historical impact, for me, is pretty up there. 9.1 out of 10. Because let's be honest, he reinvented children's media and made puppetry cool. That's no easy task. So if my math is mathin' today, the grand total for Jim Henson, 27.5. And this is where Jim Henson ranks amongst all the other beards that we have done so far here on Beardtory. Go ahead and start to wrap this up. Jim Henson's beard wasn't the beard of conquer, a warrior, or a revolutionary. It was the beard of a builder, of stories, of characters, of hope. It whispered gently to the world, "Come closer. I've got something beautiful to show you." And there you have it. The Beardtory of Jim Henson. Gone far too soon. Legendary beard. And now, officially, on the Beardtory universe. So that's all we have. We'll do this again next week. As always, if there's somebody that you want us to rank next, to talk about, to learn the history and the beard here on Beardtory, let us know in the comments. Shoot me an email, matt@beardlaws.com. That's all we got. We'll do it again next week. We'll go ahead and do it again next week. This was fun, so hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did. That's all I got. Stop wasting your time. Take care, everybody.